Good morning, Barry. It's nice to see you. I want to touch base with you and see how the new normal is for you at home and work. And if you could talk to us a little bit about that today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Jen, and thank you for the work that you and your agency continue to do. Yeah, I would love to. I would like to talk to you about the new normal, if that's what we call it. Yeah, it's life is very different, and it's affecting people across the spectrum. With especially people with addiction are struggling to maintain recovery. A lot of people that are in good, solid recovery seem to be doing okay.
Mhm.
Some people are not. And since we're using like these kinds of tools, like video, uh, it's 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 much better than using like a phone or something like that. It's like I'm looking at you, I'm looking right at your eyes, uh, you're looking at me. I'm capable of looking at you, your motion, your body, and I can tell, okay, like, if you were high, I would think I would be able to determine that. If you were in distress, I could determine that. But I can't tell what you do like after we hang up, and uh, it's different. It's different trying to do treatment. And as actually, I do have to go in to see some people face to face for certain clinical issues that they have, different type medications they take, and what's going on. So it's very different.
And what's your position again, Barry? Just so everyone can know.
Okay, thanks,
No
Jen.
worries. No, that's
I
okay.
forget that. I know. Okay, I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I practice. I have a private practice in Owego at 130 Temple Street, right there. I'm also a credentialed alcohol and substance abuse counselor with a gambling certification to treat people with gambling disorders. So that's who I am.
All right.
Pardon me.
No, that's okay. And how are you trying to take care of yourself during this time?
That's an excellent question, and one of the other things that I do is I teach at SUNY Cortland, and I have a class that I've had for 2 years. Well, I've been teaching a long time, but I have a cohort of students that I take through 2 years of like human services studies to go out into the field and practice. And this particular week, I spent like probably the last hour talking as we're doing now, because classes are all distance. And I said, okay, what are you doing to take care of yourself? So it's interesting that I have you asking me what I do to take care of myself. One of the high points of my days is going for a walk. I go for a walk, for a good long walk, probably about an hour. Try to get in different areas to see nature, to just feel and smell the smells of the earth around me. I do meditate and I pray, which are two different concepts. They're two different activities, but those are three of the things. I try to maintain some of my social relationships through media, just as we're doing right now. So I think those are the basic parts that I use to take care of myself.
It's so important, and it's good to hear that you're taking advantage of this time to keep up with self-care. Can you tell me, has there been one thing that you've seen good or inspiring within your community or where you work, or maybe something inspiring that you've seen at your work during this time?
I do. Well, I have an office in Dr. Nichols' family practice, and I, I've been watching how respectful people are that come to the office. I like to see people, you know, I had this thought and I was going to say, so I'll say it to you in the interview. I was going to say that, like, I'll bet if I put out Facebook or some social media post, like, do you think you're going to get COVID-19 virus? I think if people talked honestly and answered that honestly, they would say, no, I'm not. And I also think that if young people, schools, people that you're trying to reach and say, like, are you going to have addiction? They'd probably say no. But we know the reality. First, lots of people are getting COVID-19 that didn't think they were. And lots of people are getting addiction that don't think they were. It's not the kind of thing that, you know, yeah, it's, you know, is it different than, you know, yeah, there's some difference because you can get COVID-19 just by breathing, being around people.
Right.
But there's a good topic for you. Can't you get addiction just by being around people? Well, maybe. I mean, it's a whole part of, I don't want to, I'll spend the whole interview talking about that, but probably one of the most wonderful things that I'm seeing is the 12-step meetings. They all closed up pretty instantly once the state got shut down. And what I'm fascinated with is the amount of participation in the online, the Zoom type meetings. And after the first 5 minutes, and I can say this for my counseling, after like you get past the first 5 minutes of being uncomfortable with using the media, and then you start talking like we're talking now, you forget that we're not in person. It's almost like we're sitting in the same room with each other.
Yeah.
And so I'm inspired to be able to see our community respond in that fashion. That's one of the things that I really think is pretty nice.
That's good to hear. And we've been hearing that too from our peer specialists at Casa Trinity, that the amount of opportunities there are to connect with different recovery support groups is astonishing. It's amazing how many are available. And they too said that if you don't think you'll be sitting in a meeting with somebody you know, think again, because many of the people you are used to meeting with might be in some of those meetings. So that's something to kind of break that barrier of uncomfortability. So I'm glad to hear that you've noticed that too.
I have, very much so. One of my friends said to me, I'm going to a meeting in San Francisco at 9:30 tomorrow. Or no, he said it's 12:30 San Francisco time, so it'll be 3:30 our time. Another friend said, I'm going to a meeting in China. And I was like, whatever, okay, you know. But at the same time, if you live in Owego, I think almost all the AA 12-step meetings. The only thing that I am curious about, since I am involved with gambling, and I'll throw this out, maybe you can find out. I don't know if Gamblers Anonymous has meetings online. I tried to research that, but I couldn't get anywhere. So maybe that's something that you can find out and put out there.
I can absolutely look into that and see what resources might be out there during this time.
I can probably do that also by calling the New York State Council on Problem Gambling, which you know is actively involved with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Barry, what message would you like others to hear about treatment and recovery during this unknown time?
Well, I know that all the, I think, I wonder what it would be like to be making a decision now that I want to go to treatment. I want to stop doing the behavior that I was doing that I want to change, and not having the availability to go into an open AA meeting to see if that was for me. AA is not the only treatment. Let's be very open about that. But I don't know if you can go to a smart recovery. I don't know where you can go to any type of recovery or meeting, because I think you know me, Jenna, and social connection is the essence of recovery. But the best we have is video right now. There's no place you could walk in. However, the treatment centers are still open. So people can go to rehab if that's what they think they know. I don't know. I imagine outpatient meetings are going on, like if you're in an outpatient program, the same way as my classes are, like where I have 10, 12 people. I have 40 people in one of my classes, and it's incredible to see all the faces across the screen. But if I was in a therapy group with 6 or 8 people, I think it would be pretty cool. And as I said, once you get over the inconvenience of signing on and logging on, you're as intimate as you want to be. So I would hope that people that feel inspired, that they want to change their life, that they make the phone call. Call you guys up. Call my office. I'm happy to give you my phone number. It's 607-327-1939. Call me. I'll help you. Call one of the treatment centers. If you don't know the numbers, call me. I'll give them to you. I'm sure you can too. Yeah. But I would love and encourage anybody who wants to start a journey of living a recovering lifestyle to not let coronavirus stop them. Life is going on, and as you first question, what is the new normal? Well, being in recovery for a lot of people is a new normal.
Right.
So I would encourage anybody, if you don't like what's going on in your life, there is help.
I'm glad you said that. And one thing that has kind of been sitting with us lately is that one thing that doesn't stop during a pandemic is the need for addiction support services, and that need is still there, and we are still here to provide, and meet those needs to the best of our ability. So I'm glad you said that, Barry, because that need doesn't stop.
No.
So my last question for you today, Barry, is why is it important for people to be a part of their community coalition, especially during these difficult times?
When I reflect on why, well, one of the main causes of addiction to me is isolation. There's no new activities, no new thoughts. You're doing the same thing repetitiously, and you want to stay more alone and more alone. And I think these times are causing people to be more alone and to be more isolated. But yet people can go to the liquor store and buy alcohol, go to the convenience store, buy beer, buy whatever they, I really feel bad, Jenna. I mean, I really feel bad for people that have addictions to illicit substances, because the market, if you're somebody that's actively using a substance, it's so much, I would think it's much harder to get access to. I think probably the prices have increased, and you kind of have to stick out like a sore thumb, where you're supposed to stay at home and not be out on, well, you have to go out. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but most people don't have sources of heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, whatever drug it is. There's only so much that you can have, and then you have to go out and deal with people. So, I think that loneliness and isolation are tools of addiction to perpetuate it. And so being a part of a community is the antithesis of that. So being involved is key. And I think people should get involved with you, whatever level they can, to be a part of something. Because that's how people change. When like, if a lot of people get together and say like, okay, let's do this. We have to move this tree. We have to cut it down, and you've got a group doing it. Or we want to grow a garden, and everybody plays a part in it. You don't have time. I know you can't do that in today's right now. A couple of people can do it at their house. A few people, and I'm not in, a group of a few people. I think they can do that. I don't know. We've never been here before, Jenna, so I think we have to,
Trial and error.
and we have to stay with the principles that work. Staying in today, not living in the future or in the past, but right now, what's going on today?
Right.
And how can life be better today?
Yeah. And I think that attests to, trying different things, especially during this weird, crazy time, stepping out of our comfort zone too, and trying new things that maybe we haven't done before, just to connect in any way that we can, whether that's doing a family scavenger hunt that we're doing on Saturday online.
There you go.
Things like that, just little things that can, brighten our day and have a little bit of fun and not think about, and like you said, perpetuate things that aren't going well or things that we need to change. But instead we're doing things and we're changing in the process.
I'm really glad to hear that, like the scatter. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that, but that's a great idea. It's just something I'm going to, it's like for the time that you're doing the scavenger hunt, the boogeyman is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have to think about, am I or am I not? Am I going to? No, I'm involved. And it's that involvement. That's like right now, here I am talking to you. There's nothing else going on in my world.
Right.
And something that can keep us alive in the present is good. And keep coming up with those ideas and doing them and getting the word out to people.
Absolutely.
Hope. If I didn't have hope, I don't know where I'd be.
Well, thank you so much, Barry, for talking with us today. And we appreciate your involvement with the coalition. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Thank you for the opportunity. And just really keep doing, we need Tioga County needs to pull together and come together. We've done it in a lot of areas, and we need to keep supporting things inside our county. And keep talking. Keep talking. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you very much, Barry.